Welcome everybody back to another episode of Steehn versus Machine. Of course, I'm your host with most, Truman and Steehnmachine Steehn, and as always, I'm joined by the lead handicapper over there at Winners and Winers, Scott, the Steamroller Steehn. Scott, how are you doing?
Good. We've already had the biggest football upset of the weekend as Croatia takes down Brazil in penalty kicks. Man,
yeah,
about that.
Yeah. Huh? And now that the U.S. has been eliminated from the World Cup, it is called football again. Yeah.
So I'm doing well. You doing good?
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't have any money on that Brazil. Although we did touch on it on Don, that's true, and I did tell everybody to bet on Brazil to go to the finals, but they were not my World Cup winner pick, so I don't feel too bad about that. But kind of sucks to metaphorically lose a bet that I hadn't placed.
You lose your Super Bowl team. Well, it wouldn't even be in the wild card round. It would be. It'd be the wild card round. Yeah, the quarters. So yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Yep. But other than that, I'm doing fine. I'll tell you what, Scott. I'm always so close to almost accidentally calling you the beast with the least. I really have to, because that's what we call Owen when we're doing this show. I'm the host with the most. He's the beast with the least. So I try to always go the lead handicapper over Winners and Winers, Scott the Steamroller Steehn. So
I'm the name with the game, buddy.
Oh, I like it. The name with the game. Hey, Scott, you did have some good game. Of course, we are recapping 2 weeks worth of picks. I had where was I? Oh, I had people in town. I had in-laws in town.
You had the in-laws in town.
Yes, so we did not get to film last week. So we are here recapping 2 weeks. Scott, 2 weeks ago. Can you think back to it? Can you remember how you did?
Sure, if you will. 2 weeks ago. I think I had a winning week.
You did. 3-2.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, how about that?
3-2 at plus 83. You had the Ravens minus 3.5. That was the one that lost. I believe they lost that game outright, right? Correct? Something.
Jacksonville. Yes.
Yeah, that was a dumb one. Yeah, you had
27, I think.
Yeah, you had a dumb loss there. You also had Denver, Carolina under. We both had that one. We both cashed in on that one. Denver Broncos, terrible football team. Keep that in mind.
Terrible offense. Terrible offense. Fantastic defense.
Still a bad football team overall. I think I can safely say they're a bad football team.
Hard to make a case that they're a high-quality opponent when they're 3-9.
Yeah, I didn't know we were really splitting hairs on that one. You did have the Dolphins minus 13.5. Texans made it interesting in the second half for the line. I mean, as Dolphins went ahead and won by 15. Seahawks minus 3.5. Man, another dumb loss. Should have that one in the bag. But
so at least I can have dumb losses.
Yeah. But you did have the 49ers minus 8.5. Man, that was a terrible Sunday night football game. Woo! No, not a Sunday night football game. Sorry, just the, I think probably the game of the week, if I had to guess.
The Fox whatever. Game of the week or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, 13-0. Woo! What a barn burner.
Unbelievable.
I had a bet that every game that wasn't the Monday or Sunday night game, every team would score a touchdown. The only team not to score a touchdown, New Orleans Saints.
Thanks, guys.
Break my heart. It was like plus 600 or something, and just feel bad. But
that's what you want there.
Yeah. Well, you went 3-2.
Yep. And you? How'd you do?
I went 2-3, Scott. I had that Denver, Carolina under. I had the Chicago, New York Jets under 39, and they scored just enough to go over and hit 41. They were at like 34 at halftime, to be fair. But then they came out, they scored a touchdown in like the first 5 minutes of the third quarter, and then didn't score again for the rest of the game. It only frustrates me when teams only go over by one score. I get annoyed. Yeah, and then on the inverse, I had Las Vegas, Seattle over 47.5. That almost hit in the first half, and then it cashed pretty much immediately in the third quarter. I had the Rams, Chiefs over 41.5. Rams, just a weird game. Chiefs only scored 26. They had to struggle in the red zone a little bit. Just not punching it in. I wonder if they're missing McCole Hardman. I don't know. We'll see how they respond this week, especially after that Bengals loss. But they were over 41.5. That did not cash. I had Pittsburgh, Indianapolis under 39.5. That one also did not cash. Again, just enough to beat my bet at 41, but not enough to win. So we look ahead to last week. Scott, 3-2 again. You're not gonna believe it.
Consistency.
Yep, we just gave you positive 80 on that one. Yeah, Jets +3. That one did not cash. They were in that game. That's one of those where you had +3 and you feel like they lost by one possession. You felt like it was close. You felt like you should have won that bet with them with taking the points, but it was only +3. So it's that weird thing where Vegas just does not believe in the Vikings. It's odd. We're going to see more of that this week with
this week, yep.
them being the underdogs against the 5-7 Lions. The 10-2 Minnesota Vikings being the underdogs to the 5-7 Lions. And that is the 10-2 Minnesota Vikings, where one of those 10 wins is over the Super Bowl favorite right now. They're not, they ain't your 9-0 Pittsburgh Steelers last year or whatever. Just, it's weird. We're in a weird year. You also had Cleveland, Houston. You had the under 46.5. That did cash. Deshaun Watson looks terrible, and Houston also looks terrible. That helps.
Oh, and we talked about that there could be some rust, and holy mackerel, there definitely some rust.
There was some horrible
rust. A horrible beat on the side in that game, by the way. I had the side as a premium.
Jeez.
Houston +8. They gave up 2 defensive touchdowns and a punt return. Oh,
Christ.
That was great. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, glad we were able to cash the under on this show.
Yeah. You had the Packers -4.5. That cashed. Of course, Aaron Rodgers loving to win by 9. Seahawks -6.5. They blew that game, right? That was a blown. Oh no, they did win, but they had to rally. They had to rally late. Yeah.
It was back and forth pretty much the whole way, a 1-score game.
Yep. I had Jets Minnesota under 44.5. That was a loss because they hit 49 again. Just a bunch of teams scoring just enough points, just one score to go over, and then they say I'm done. I had Pittsburgh Atlanta under 42.5. That one did cash. 1916. My miracle cash of the week. I had the Washington Commanders New York Giants under 40.5. Went to overtime 2020. Ends overtime 2020. Love it.
Oh, that's like I had 2 premium plays in hockey the other night. I had one game over 6, one game under 6. At the end of the second period, they were both at 6. I figured, well, that's going to be a win and a loss. Did 2 pushes. Neither one of them scored in the third period. So then I had the under 6 the other night in the Rangers Vegas game. It was 1-0 late in the second period. They finally tied it. Went into the third period. Rangers put up 4. Ends up landing on 6. I'm like, oh, that's just fantastic. So.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I had me. I bet the hockey parlays with the totals. It was Montreal versus I believe it was the Canucks. In Montreal, I have Montreal in the over. And the Montreal's up 4-0 at the end of the first period. I said, well, hey, we're cruising towards, or I had the over 6.5 in Montreal. They're up 4-0. I'm like, cool. So I stopped looking at it, checked the score the next day. They lost 7-6 in overtime.
Outstanding.
Terrible. So yeah, I had the miracle cover. I also had Miami, San Francisco over 45.5. Not bad. They hit 50 there. I had the Chiefs Cincy over 53. God damn it. Harrison Butker, I'm a missed field goal away.
Oh, and they were really cruising towards that total. I really thought you were going to get there, but
I felt like I was cruising there, and I needed that because I obviously had gone 2-3 the week before. I went 3-2 that week. Brings me to 5-5. But as we know in betting, if you ain't moving forward, you ain't getting. Man, I kind of lost it there. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you're staying
a well-known saying right there.
I feel a little bit like Joe Biden right now. I'm sorry.
You're not moving forward. You're gonna sandwich.
I knew I was in such a bad spot there. I was like, man, I cannot get out of there. If you're staying stagnant, you're really falling behind. 5-5. I don't profit anything. I'm a -50 for those 2 weeks. You're at 6-4. You're plus 183. Helps to be 3-2 both those weeks. 80 and 83. Brings your season win loss is 29, 35, and 1. You're at minus 883. And I'm at 33, 31, and 1 for negative 043 net. So, Scott, as we say, make it, take it. I nailed it. Make it, take it. So you get to go first. And then I will not get the name of your show. So,
the expert prediction show.
Yes.
I'm down 500. I'm down 800. Here, let us tell you how to bet.
Well, I'm only down 50. I'm not down 500. I'm down 50.
For all time?
Yeah.
You're down 50 if you're only 2 over.
33, 31, and 1. Yeah.
How did you not lose any juice?
I had a couple money lines.
Okay.
There's a couple juice. Hey, you can go watch every show. Hey, we do the running total every week. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch the one I'm on.
Fair enough.
All right, let's start with the Ravens Steelers. Breaking news: Lamar Jackson will not play in this game. That's right. It's going to be Tyler Huntley, as we suspected, but now they have absolutely come out and said that is indeed the case. As Jackson has problems with his knee. Steelers, they have committed to the run lately. Last 4 games, they've averaged 35 carries per game. That's exactly what they want to do here. I think they want to shorten the game and grind it into dust, keep the Baltimore offense off the field. Even with Huntley, they do have some weapons. Less time Baltimore spends on the field, the better for the Steelers' chances. Jackson, I still like this play. With Huntley, I really like this play. I'll take the Ravens Steelers under 37.
Yeah, I stay away from games where quarterbacks are switching. As a system play, I try to just kind of get it out. I just say, I'm good. I'm just not going to do anything this week. So I'm just going to steer clear of that game. I'm not going to bet anything. I would have been on the under, though, with everything said, but I don't want to bet that. So I'll be steering clear of it, but I don't dislike your under 37 there. I probably like it with Lamar Jackson also. Moving on to my first play of the week. I have the Eagles minus 150. What? I have the Eagles minus 7 at minus 115. Sorry, apparently I didn't put the number there, so I just said Eagles minus 115, and I was like, I don't think that's right. I have the Eagles minus 7 at minus 115. Eagles are again, more breaking news. The Eagles are a good football team. The Giants, I believe we're starting to see them regress to the mean. I think we're starting to see the clock hit midnight just a bit on this Giants team. We've all felt they were overperforming, a little bit out over their skis, and I believe the chickens are kind of coming home to roost here. And they're going to face a good Eagles team that is still putting it together just about every week. They looked great last week against the Titans. A.J. Brown in his revenge game. The only thing that worries me here is that it is a division matchup, but I'm still feeling good about it. Give me the Eagles minus 7 at minus 115.
I'm with you on this one. I think the Giants have definitely come back to the pack a little bit. Last week the Titans and their great run defense held the Eagles to just 67 yards on the ground. Didn't matter. Hurts goes 29-39 for 388. Oh, everybody laughed at me when I looked at Hurts when he played the Chiefs and put up 398. Said the kid looks like a quarterback, and everybody laughed and said, "No, the Chiefs' defense is terrible." Yada yada yada. Well, I don't know that I've been completely vindicated. I believe I've at least been partially vindicated, as Jalen Hurts is having a very fine season, and I think he can be a quality quarterback for years to come, and I think he's only going to get better. So yeah, I like that play.
Hey, I was in the same camp. I was a Jalen Hurts hater, as they call him. I just did not love him going into this season. But now he's he's a bona fide MVP candidate. Well, I don't know if we could use bona fide. He's an MVP candidate.
He's a top 10, top 8 probably.
Top 3. He's probably top 3 MVP candidate. Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow right now, I guess. That's the top 3 in odds right
now. Speaking of Burrow, that's going to be my next game. I've got the Bengals minus 6. We talked about a little bit about how terrible Deshaun Watson was, and he was absolutely dreadful, short-armed everything. As I mentioned, they had 3 non-offensive touchdowns in that game, so the score is certainly misleading. Will he be better? I guess he went 12 for 22 with no touchdowns and a pick. So I'd hope so. Maybe put up some Tyler Huntley type numbers. Um, but I don't know that it matters. I don't know if it's I don't know if it matters who's playing quarterback for the Browns right now. If this Cincy team goes out and plays like they did last week, where the defense was very good and the offense, what do you say about Burrow and his receivers? They certainly know how to get it done. Again, a division game, so you kind of have to think twice about laying the points. But and again, if the Cincinnati team that shows up the first part of the season shows up, this is going to be a terrible pick. But I really think Burrow was probably affected by that appendicitis for the first month of the season. I think that led to a lot of his back problems. And if you look at him in the pocket, he's under duress quite a bit, but he's very slippery. He's a fast runner. He's not necessarily elusive. He just slides well. He does a lot of the same stuff Holmes does, except he does it with just a little less flourish. But I think that's what was missing the first month of the season with his mobility and his lack of ability to get outside and slide away from the problems. So they've got those fixed. Plus, this offensive line is starting to gel. Bengals going to be a formidable opponent going forward for every team, and I think it starts with the Browns this week. Give me the Bengals -6.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me in that Bengals game, I do have it down to -5.5 for you. Don't worry, I gave it to you for free. The only thing that worries about that Bengals is in the way that the Bengals are the Chiefs' kryptonite. The Browns seem to be Burrow's kryptonite. Burrow has not beat the Browns in his career, which is a crazy stat that I heard today. That's the only thing that worries me. But again, a trend is only a trend. Momentum's only momentum until it stops, right? So, and a lot with trends, a lot of the time we look at them, we say, is there a good reason for that, or is it just a weird trend? And I don't think there's a good reason for it. I think it's just a weird trend. So I look forward to end at any point here. And it might certainly be this week against bad Deshaun Watson. But if the trend holds true, Deshaun Watson will randomly wake up and decide to be Deshaun Watson of 2019 and be incredible. So, bringing me to my second pick of the week, I have Jacksonville, Tennessee, under 41. Man. Tennessee is just not a great offense. And same with Jacksonville. Neither of them great offenses. Neither blow me away, per se. Tennessee in the bottom 10 of my offense in my ranking. Jacksonville, right around league average mark. They're fine, but they're just not incredible. Their defenses, both, though, in the top 12 for me. This is and when these teams are clicking on offense, I believe what they click on is the running game. I believe most of the game, especially for the Titans, hinges off of the ground game with Derrick Henry punishing people. And I believe that's what they'll look to do. They'll look to establish it early and often. Give me Jacksonville, Tennessee. Give me the under 41.
Well, I wish you luck. I want no part of the under in a team that just gave up 40 to the Lions. I just don't. And I don't want I do like playing an under with a team that just scored 14 against the Lions because that Lions defense is dreadful. But this Jaguars team, I think they're broken, man. They have lost and failed to cover 7 of their last 9, and they just got manhandled by the Lions, as I mentioned. Here's the thing with Jacksonville as far as covering the number goes. They don't win, they don't cover. They're not one of these teams that loses you heartbreakers and just barely gets beat but covers the spread. When they do it with style. The Titans -3.5. So you're telling me that the Titans are just a half a point better than the Jaguars? I'm not buying that. I'm not smelling what the Rock is cooking there. I'll take the Titans -3.5.
Fair enough. We're in the same game. We're just not on the same side, I guess. Moves me on to my third pick of the week. Speaking of teams looking for a bounce back, teams that have had a bit of a struggle, I'm finally not betting the Chiefs over. Whatever it is, Vegas is in on their totals. They are pretty locked in on that Chiefs number. Chiefs missed the number by like 3 or 4 the last couple times. So I'm no longer betting the over-unders. But what I will bet is a good Chiefs team on a bounce-back week against a terrible Denver Broncos team. Give me the Chiefs -8.5. Not a fan?
All right. I just want no part of that. no part of that. I mean, that's this Denver team just drag you down in the mud, and they just wrestle you in the mud all day long, and you get up and you're dirty and you need a shower and you've won by 2 points. And no, I don't want any part of that.
That's fair. That's fair. The
Um,
They are, well, but they're still not great against the number. But the Chiefs aren't great against the number either. To be fair, Chiefs are 4-8 against the spread. But the Broncos also 4-8 against the spread. Somebody's got to win this game. Somebody's got to win this spread.
Somebody's going to cover.
Yep.
Dolphins Chargers over 52. Oh, excuse me. That's no longer the number. 53.5 is the number. It's been my pick that had the most movement. Tua, if you're not keeping up at home, he has started to struggle against good defenses. Good news for him this week, he ain't playing one. This is a dreadful Chargers defense. Dolphins just 17 against the Niners, not a great look, but here's the deal. They've averaged 33.7 the previous 4. Those 4 winners were Houston, Cleveland, Chicago, and Detroit. The Chargers fit well with that group of teams. Chargers are going to have their full complement of receivers, only for the first time since the Chiefs game. Don't know how that went. I like this Chargers team to probably get to the 30s, and I think that leaves us plenty of meat on the bone for the Dolphins to do their thing at 24 or better. So I'll take the over 53.5.
Sounds good to me. Brings me to my 4th pick of the week. I had the Seahawks minus 3.5, taking on those Carolina Panthers. Seahawks have been struggling a bit, but again, I'm going to take them on a bounce back week. I think the Carolina Panthers are a bit of a get right game. Seattle's at home there. I like Geno Smith to kind of figure it out, and I don't think Carolina can continue their success that they've seen over the past 2 weeks. Again, kind of been weird to watch that Carolina team actually win games. But to be fair, they've also been playing bad teams. They beat the Broncos. They beat, another terrible team. Shoot, who am I? It was, They beat the Broncos, and then they lost in a terrible game to the Ravens, and then they beat the Falcons the week before that. This is just a bad Carolina team. I think the Seahawks are good enough here, and getting a little bit disrespected at minus 3.5. We talked about the Seahawks getting disrespected a couple weeks ago, and then they lost. But I like that. I like them to bounce back here against the Panthers. Give me the Seahawks minus 3.5.
Well, I'm watching this game, and it's 4th and 3. They run an end around, or they run a reverse, and he yanked the kid by his face mask, pull him backwards, snap his head around, and yank him to the ground with his face mask, and they do not call it.
Oh,
maybe the most egregious face mask I've ever seen not call it, and no replays. I had to run it back to make sure I was seeing what I thought, that he didn't have him by the jersey or one of the. No, dude, it was. Anyway,
God, that's crazy.
I'm so buried in this game. Anyway, it doesn't matter. My last play.
Yes, your final pick of the day.
You just can't stay. You can't stay away from the Chiefs, can you? You just can't do it.
What, me?
Dead to me. That team for betting purposes, they're dead to me.
That's fair.
Buccaneers, 49ers, minus 3.5 in this one. I don't know why I do it to myself, but I watch this Tampa Bay team play every week, and my God, that offense is just horrific.
I think until the last 7 minutes.
What's that?
The last 3.5.
Little country song like I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm good as once as I ever was. That's the way Brady is.
As good as I once was. I'm as good once as I ever was. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
That's Brady. He don't have 60 minutes of good football in him. He's got about 8.
Yeah.
So fumble fucks around for the first 50 minutes of the game. And it's like, oh, we're 2 touchdowns down. I guess I should go ahead and play now. I don't think that's going to happen against this Niners defense. That's the difference. I can't get behind this Tampa Bay team at all. Yeah, I know we got Iowa's the pride of Iowa, Brock Purdy, going for the Niners. You know what? He wasn't bad. They kept the leash on him. He was 25 at 37. It's 210 yards. Obviously, they're not letting him throw too far down the field. Did throw a pick with 2 touchdowns. But this San Francisco run game struggling a bit right now, but they've still got some great weapons. Of course, Christian McCaffrey. But mainly using him out of the backfield. They're giving him a few carries. He hasn't excelled at the running game, but I think that this is a San Francisco defense just going to limit the possibilities or limit the opportunities for Tampa Bay Bucks, and I think eventually Purdy and company will wear them down and pull away. I give it. I think this one ends up somewhere in the neighborhood of 17-10, 21-10, something like that.
Fair enough. This is a this is, again, as on principle, I don't bet games where we have quarterback changes, so I'm not betting this game. But it's weird because at the end of the day, Jimmy Garoppolo is just he's a game manager. He was an Alex Smith type, maybe a little bit even worse than Alex Smith. Personally, I believe, and then so it feels weird to be like, oh, well, their season's over because they lost Jimmy Garoppolo. It's like, I think Brock Purdy can do fine. I think you go in there and do what Jimmy Garoppolo did. Well, hey, me and you might be able to sit back there and pass for at least 150, in this offense. No.
I don't believe that's accurate.
No, of course, it's a little bit of hyperbole. But otherwise, I would have had this San Francisco team would have been in my top 5 picks, honestly. They would have been just about tied with the Chiefs. So, but instead, I'm not going to have them on my sheet today. Instead, for my final pick, I will have the New England Patriots at the Arizona Cardinals. I've got the under 43.5 at -107. Man, the dog even barks even when he just sees me on the computer, I guess. That's crazy.
Doesn't care for you at all.
Nope. No, he does not. Listen, Scott, this is 2 terrible offenses again. Kyler Murray has been showing, I don't know, maybe more signs of life. But Michael McCorkle-Jones is not doing great over there in New England. This offense just, they're throwing it to cornerbacks at this point. So I guess that's what we're doing. So it's a little weird, but I have New England, Arizona under 43.5. 2 terrible offenses. Not terrible offenses. There's no way Cliff Kingsbury survives this season, right? There's no way he's the coach of the Cardinals next year.
Wouldn't think so. If you saw our show last week, you saw that he was on the hot seat.
Yeah, and I think he'll remain there until he's off the hot seat. And the only way he's getting off the hot seat is getting fired. So yeah, give me the New England, Arizona under 43.5. I think these are 2 terrible teams, and I like them to not score enough points.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yep. All right. So so recap, you had Baltimore, Pittsburgh under, Bengals -5.5, Titans -3.5, Miami Chargers over, and the 49ers -3.5. I had the Eagles -7, Jacksonville, Tennessee under, Chiefs -8.5, Seahawks -3.5, and New England, Arizona under 43.5.
All right, let's get some winners, buddy.
Feeling good about that. Scott, if they wanted to see more from you, I assume they'd head over to YouTube, youtube.com, Winners and Whiners, to watch Scott on his show, Once Upon a Time in Las Vegas, the rise of the greatest sports betting show of all time.
There it is.
Woo, 2 for 2. I got Make It, Take It, and the title of the show. I can't believe it.
Beautiful thing. That's right. We're the Winners and Whiners YouTube channel. I do daily free pick videos. Once a week, we drop our little fun show that we do with some sketches and predictions from 3 of our experts. So make sure you check that out as well. You can catch me on Twitter at Steehnroller. Assuming you're watching Truman, you know how to spell the last name, so I'm not going to insult you. And that's about it.
It's also right here and here. It's right above us and next to us. You can follow me also, twitter.com/Steehnmachine. You can check it out, patreon.com/OpenDisaster. If you want to see these episodes, if you're watching this on YouTube, guess what? We actually post this on Saturday for our patrons over on Patreon. For only $5 a month, you get 40 picks early. So head on over there. You can check it out.
Those line moves. You can beat those line moves if you get it on Saturday.
Absolutely. And, I might be posting it at 11:15. You might only have 45 minutes if I'm going to post it on Sunday. So if you get it on Saturday, you can for sure get those picks in. Yep. I think that about does it. Yeah, twitter.com, Steehnmachine, Steehnroller, Disaster Open. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. We hope to see you guys back at the window. There you go. It's a trademark. Nail it. A little pause.
Yeah, everybody. Not bad.
It's just right. All right. See you guys.
nonsense.